Super Tuesday Hoops is here. NBA fans, it's Celtics versus Sixers, and Nuggets take on the Kings. College basketball heats up too. Louisville battles Kentucky, and Creighton faces off with Gonzaga. 4 can't-miss games. Let's get to the action. The Hardwood Report starts right now. We begin with the Sixers taking on the Celtics, and the Celtics come in at 5-6, still searching for rhythm in the early going. They're without Jason Tatum, nursing an Achilles, and that absence looms large, but Boston's pedigree remains. 61 wins last season, dominance in the Atlantic Division, and a road record that would make any contender envious. Philadelphia, meanwhile, sits at 6-4, a team trying to rewrite its narrative after a 24-win campaign last year. Paul George is out with a knee injury, but the Sixers have shown flashes of cohesion, especially in transition and off the bench. This is the third meeting between these two this season, the last one a thriller. Celtics edged it 109-108 behind Jaylen Brown's 32-point outburst. Expect intensity, expect urgency, and expect a crowd that knows the stakes. While the pros battle in Philly, college basketball delivers a bluegrass blockbuster. Number 12, Louisville hosts number 9, Kentucky. Both teams undefeated, both fan bases excited. Louisville's defense and home court edge make them the slight favorites, but Kentucky's athleticism and depth could flip the script. This one's got March energy in November. Out west, Denver rides a 4-game win streak into Sacramento. Nikola Jokic continues to operate like a maestro, and the Nuggets' offensive efficiency is off the charts. Sacramento, meanwhile, is still trying to find its footing at 3-7. Injuries to Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis complicate things, but Russell Westbrook's leadership has kept them competitive. And don't sleep on Spokane. Number 19, Gonzaga hosts number 23, Creighton, in a clash of high-octane offenses. Gonzaga's shooting has been lights out, and Creighton brings Big East toughness. This one could be a track meet and a statement game for both programs. So whether you're tuning in for NBA drama, college rivalries, or late-night fireworks, this Super Tuesday promises something for every basketball fan. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. Tip-off is at the top of the hour. More on the early games in a moment, but first, here's what's trending in basketball. The Dallas Mavericks dismissed general manager Nico Harrison today, a move that underscored the franchise's regret over the blockbuster trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers 9 months ago. The firing came one day after team governor Patrick Dermott attended a 116-114 loss to Milwaukee, where fans again chanted "Fire Nico," a refrain that is echoed throughout the season. Dermott announced that longtime front office executive Michael Finley and assistant general manager Matt Riccardi will serve as co-interim general managers. Harrison's downfall was tied directly to the February trade that shipped Doncic, a 25-year-old superstar point guard, to Los Angeles in exchange for Anthony Davis. Davis has missed 30 of 44 games since arriving, including 6 of Dallas's first 11 this season with a calf injury. The Mavericks are 3-8 and struggling offensively, while Doncic has opened the season in historic fashion, joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only player to start with 3 consecutive 40-point games. Fan frustration has been evident inside American Airlines Center, where empty seats have returned for the first time since 2018. Dermott, whose Adelson family purchased the team from Mark Cuban in late 2023, acknowledged the anger in a letter to fans, writing, "You have high expectations for the Mavericks, and I share them with you. When the results don't meet expectations, it's my responsibility to act." Harrison, hired in 2021 after 2 decades at Nike, had previously overseen trades that helped Dallas reach the Western Conference Finals in 2022 in the NBA Finals in 2024. He hired Jason Kidd as head coach and reshaped the roster around Doncic and Kyrie Irving, but the decision to unload Doncic, in part to avoid a $346 million supermax extension, proved costly. Cuban, who initially retained influence over basketball operations after selling the team, criticized the trade, saying he would never have approved it. Finally, a two-time All-Star with Dallas in the early 2000s now steps into leadership alongside Riccardi as the Mavericks attempt to stabilize a franchise that has seen its championship aspirations unraveled. Suns guard Jalen Green will be sidelined for at least a month after suffering a right hamstring strain. The team announced today he will be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. Green sustained the injury during Saturday's road win over the Los Angeles Clippers, cutting short what had been a promising start to his tenure in Phoenix. The 23-year-old has battled hamstring injuries since training camp, first injuring it before the season and then aggravating it during the team's preseason trip to China. After missing the Suns' first 8 games, Green made his debut last Thursday against the Clippers, scoring 29 points, the most by a Suns player in a franchise debut since Charles Barkley in 1992. Phoenix acquired Green in a blockbuster trade with Houston that sent Kevin Durant to the Rockets. The deal was viewed as a major shift in direction for the Suns, who added a young scorer with durability after Green played all 82 games in each of the past 2 seasons. Now the Suns face another setback as Green joins a growing list of injuries early in the campaign. His absence leaves a hole in the backcourt rotation and delays the team's hopes of building chemistry around its new core. That's what's trending in the NBA, and we focus our attention now to college basketball. And this is one of those games that feels bigger than November, okay? You've got Kentucky and Louisville, 2 blue blood programs, 2 fan bases that don't just dislike each other. They live to beat the other side. Tuesday night, Yum Center's going to be electric. Let's get into it. Keys to the game. Number 1, Kentucky's pace versus Louisville's depth. Kentucky wants to run. They're averaging over 100 points a game so far. Yeah, it's Valpo and, directional schools. I get it, but the pace is there. They've got Otega Owe, a dynamic kid. He can slash and can defend, but they're still figuring out who their alpha scorer is in the half court. Louisville's much deeper. They've got 5 guys who can give you double figures. Adrian Woolley's the name here. He's their go-to guy. He can score inside and out. If Kentucky doesn't control tempo early, Louisville's depth will wear them out. Number 2, Louisville's home dominance. Louisville is 16-3 at home since last November. You don't walk into that building and push them around. The crowd's right on top of you, and that place gets loud. Kentucky's 4-6 on the road since last year. That's a problem. You can't play this game at a neutral site and expect the same result. Louisville's role players play better at home. They always do. Okay, the defensive factor. Here's what this game, this is where the game's going to get interesting. Everybody's taking offenses and talking offensive battles and taking their offense and doing things with it. Though 173.5 total points, right? That's all nonsense. But Kentucky has gone under 5 in their last 6. Louisville's gone under in 6 of their last 10. So these games are going to be a little low scoring tonight. These teams can guard. And in rivalry games, it's usually about who gets the stops late, not who scores 100. The matchup, Louisville's got the better backcourt, more experience, better defense, and they can score off turnovers. Kentucky's front court has the athletic edge, but if they can protect the basketball, this thing can get away from them quick. Louisville turns mistakes into threes. Kentucky, they've got the more talented roster as usual, but Kenny Payne's bunch plays harder right now. It's early in the season, and chemistry always beats raw talent in these spots. Want to turn your attention to the AP poll for just a moment because I think it's interesting. because we got a new number one. And, the first regular season Associated Press Top 25 men's basketball brought major changes from the preseason rankings, with Houston climbing to number one and several teams making big moves after early statement wins. The Cougars swapped places with Purdue in the poll released Monday, earning 18 first-place votes and edging the Boilermakers with 3 points overall. Purdue, which received 36 first-place votes, slipped to number 2 after a shaky 87-77 win over Oakland. UConn, Duke, and Arizona round out the top 5. Houston, last spring's national runner-ups, is ranked number 1 for the first time since a 3-week stint in 2024. The Cougars opened the season with convincing wins over Lehigh and Townsend, outscoring opponents by an average of 18 points. Arizona made the biggest leap, climbing 8 spots to number 5 after beating defending champion Florida in Las Vegas. Alabama jumped 7 places to number 8 following a 103-96 win over St. John's at Madison Square Garden. North Carolina rose 7 spots to number 18 after defeating Kansas, while Michigan State moved up 5 places to number 17 with a narrow win over Arkansas. The losses sent Florida tumbling 7 places to number 10. St. John's dropped 8 spots to number 13, and Kansas falling 6 places to number 25. Conference breakdown: the Southeastern Conference, Big 10 and Big 12, each placed 6 teams in the rankings, accounting for nearly 3/4 of the poll. The ACC and the Big East followed with 3 each, while Gonzaga represented the West Coast Conference at number 19. Both the SEC and Big 12 boast 3 teams in the top 10. My watch list: Indiana under first-year coach Darren DeVaris. He's pushing toward the rankings after a blowout win over Alabama A&M. He also had a big win against Marquette. The Hoosiers face Milwaukee and Incarnate World next game. Unlikely to sway voters, but potentially enough to break into the top 25 if the early season reshuffling continues. So that's what's going on in college basketball. Let's now shift gears to the Celtics taking on the 76ers. It is a Eastern Conference showdown on NBC and Peacock, and Boston and Philly, 2 teams that know each other as well as anybody in this conference. 3rd meeting already, and both have split the first 2 by single points each. That's classic Celtics-Sixers basketball. Every possession matters, and this one tonight could be the same story. Keys to the game: number 1, the Embiid factor. Let's be honest, this all starts with Joel Embiid. He's been on a minutes leash all year. You can tell the Sixers are protecting that knee, keeping him in that 25, 26-minute range. When he's out there, he's still a load to handle, but he's not controlling the game the way we've seen in past seasons. If Boston can get him into foul trouble or force him to defend in space, they can neutralize the middle completely. Number 2, the Celtics guard play. No Drew Holiday means Derek White's usage goes way up. He's got to shoot better than the 34% he's putting up so far. His decision-making has been fine. The ball movement's good, but they need him to hit open threes to stretch the floor. Okay. Number 3, the supporting cast for Philly. Tendon Wartford has been a great story. The kid had a triple-double out of nowhere against Toronto, but let's be real, he's not doing that every night. Tyrese Maxey's the guy who's got to pick up the slack. If Embiid's still pacing himself, if Maxey gets downhill and controls tempo, Philly's dangerous. If Boston turns him into a jump shooter, it's curtains. Matchup notes: Boston's won 5 of its last 8 after starting 0-3. That's called finding your rhythm. Philly's dropped 4 of 6, and the losses have been close, all winnable. That tells me they're playing hard, but they don't have enough finishers when Embiid's not on the floor. Celtics defense, top 5 in the NBA the last 2 weeks. That's the difference maker. Time now for tonight's pick and play. I'm going to take Boston at 2.5. They're deeper, better defensively, and they've got the edge in clutch execution. Philly hangs around early, but in the fourth quarter, the Celtics spacing and defense close it out. Final score, Celtics 106, Sixers 99. Boston wins, they cover, and sends a little message to the rest of the East. You've still got to go through us. Other games to keep your eyes on. Toronto taking on Brooklyn right now. Brooklyn's got a 6-point lead at home with 6:03 left to play in the first. Claxton has 7 points for the Nets. Grizzlies taking on the Knicks at the Garden. Mikal Bridges has 6 points, and the Knicks lead by 3 with 5:23 left to play in the first. Warriors Thunder tonight at the top of the hour. Curry and Gilgeous-Alexander on the floor. Pacers Jazz tonight. Pascal Siakam, he's averaging 24.3 points. It's also the season debut for TJ McConnell. And Indiana's actually a favorite in that game. Hopefully they can get win number 2 on the year. It will also be their first road win of the season. They're 0-5 on the road. And then, of course, the nightcap, Nuggets and Kings. We'll have full preview of that for the second edition of the Hardwood Report later tonight. So that's what's going on the NBA scoreboard. Really quick, since we're covering college basketball tonight, we'll look at the top 25 scoreboard as well. Wake Forest taking on number 6 Michigan. Mara has 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks for the Wolverines, 55-51 in Ann Arbor. Number 4 Duke taking on Army. Final seconds of the first half. Evans has 13 points for the Duke Blue Devils, and they are leading 48-30. Halftime in Gainesville, number 10 Florida down by 3 against Florida State. Wiggins has 11 points for the Seminoles, 40-37 at the half. North Carolina, number 18, and proving why, they're up 34-26 against Radford. Vassar has 10 points. Of course, number 9, Kentucky, number 12, Louisville coming your way at the top of the hour. Kansas hosts Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Texas Tech has Illinois. That's a ranked versus ranked matchup, 11 versus 14 in Champaign. And then, of course, tonight, Creighton, number 23, takes on number 19, Gonzaga. We'll have full, complete coverage of that game as well. It is Super Tuesday. It's here. We hope you enjoy it. That will do it for this edition of the Hardwood Report. We will see you for Hardwood Report at the half.